Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving into something that's, well, not just going to be on your CDL test, it's absolutely crucial for your safety out there on the road. We're talking about the air brake system on combination vehicles. Okay, so to really get why this stuff matters so much, let me paint a picture for you. You're cruising down the highway, fully loaded rig, and then the unthinkable happens. Your trailer breaks away. What's stopping that thing from becoming a 40-ton missile careening down the road? Seriously, what happens? Well, the answer, believe it or not, isn't total chaos. It's some really clever engineering. There's this amazing fail-safe system designed to kick in instantly. So let's break down exactly how it all works, piece by piece. All right, so right at the heart of this whole safety setup is a little device with a pretty self-explanatory name, the tractor protection valve. I want you to think of this thing as the brain of the whole operation. It's literally standing guard to protect you and your tractor. So what's this number one job? Simple. It protects the tractor. If you ever have a catastrophic air loss from the trailer, like a hose bursting or a complete breakaway, this valve slams shut. It makes sure your tractor keeps the air pressure it needs so you can brake safely and come to a stop. It basically just isolates the problem right away. But wait, how does the tractor even talk to the trailer in the first place? Well, it all happens through two critical lifelines. We're talking about those air hoses that you physically connect between the tractor and the trailer. And trust me, each one has a very, very different job. Okay, first up, we've got the emergency line. You're also going to hear people call it the supply line. And the name kind of gives it away, right? It has two main jobs. First, it supplies the trailer with all the compressed air it needs to work. And second, and this is the big one, it's the line that controls the trailer's emergency brakes. And then you have the second line, which is the service line, or, you guessed it, the control line. Now, when you step on that brake pedal for a normal stop, this is the communication channel. It's sending that signal back to the trailer, telling its brakes exactly how hard to squeeze. So let's just put that side by side so it's super clear. You've got the emergency line, that's your supply line, and it's almost always colored red. It sends the air. Then you've got the service line, that's your control line, and it's usually blue. It sends the signal. Just remember, red for emergency, supply, blue for service, control. It's a simple little detail, but man, it can save you on the road and for sure on your exam. Okay, so knowing all the theory is one thing, right? But as a driver, this is stuff you're going to have to do every single day. So let's talk about the hands-on part, actually making the connection and charging up the system. And look, this is all about doing it right. You got to start with clean couplers. No dirt, no grime. You'll connect the glad hands by pressing those seals together at a 90-degree angle. Then give them a good twist to lock. It's simple, red to red, blue to blue. Oh, and when you're not hooked up, always, always use those dummy couplers. It keeps all that junk and water from getting inside. Now let's jump inside the cab. This little thing right here is your master control for the whole trailer air system. It's a red 8-sided knob. And you know why it's 8-sided? It's designed so you can find it and know what it is just by feel, without ever taking your eyes off the road. The way it works couldn't be simpler, but you absolutely have to know what each move does. Push it in, and you're supplying air to the trailer. That releases the trailer's emergency brakes. Pull it out, and you shut off that air supply, which, you guessed it, makes those emergency brakes slam on. It's basically the big on-off switch for the trailer's whole system. Okay, now listen up because this next part, it's totally non-negotiable. Before you even think about putting that truck in gear, you have to do these checks. This is 100% about safety, and you can bet your bottom dollar any CDL examiner will be watching you like a hawk when you do this. So, how do you actually test that amazing fail-safe we were talking about? It's simple. First, get the air system fully charged up. Then, shut the engine off. Now you're going to start pumping that brake pedal over and over again to bleed the air pressure down. And what you're doing is listening and watching for that red knob. At a certain point, it should just pop right out all on its own. And here it is, the magic number. That valve must pop out when the air pressure drops somewhere into the range of 20 to 45 psi. It can't be higher, can't be lower. Write this number down, tattoo it on your brain. You absolutely have to know this for your test. All right, next up, you've got to check the trailer's service brakes. So with the system charged up and the parking brakes released, just pull forward nice and slow, maybe about 5 miles an hour. Then you're going to use the trailer hand valve, the trolley valve. Some folks call it the Johnson bar. And what you're looking for is a definite tug from the trailer. You should feel it slow you down. That tells you its brakes are working just fine on their own.
Okay, so we're connected, we're tested, we're good to go. Let's talk about actually using this knowledge out on the road and, just as important, what to do when you stop for the day.
All right, I need you to listen to this next sentence and just burn it into your memory. This is not a suggestion. It is an absolute, unbreakable rule of professional driving. Ready? Never, ever use the hand valve for parking. But why? Why is that such a big deal? Come on, think about it for a second. What is the real, fundamental difference between using that hand valve versus setting your main parking brakes? Here's why it's so critical. The hand valve needs air pressure to hold the brakes on. So if you park with it and your system has a tiny, slow leak overnight, that pressure bleeds off, and guess what? Your brakes release, the truck could just roll away. But the main parking brakes, they're the exact opposite. They're held on by giant springs. They need air pressure to be released. So if you lose air, they just clamp down harder. That's the only truly safe way to park, period. And hey, just a quick word on one of the trickiest parts of handling a rig, backing up. Your goal is always, always a straight line if you can manage it. But if you have to curve, always try to back to the driver's side. It's just so much easier to see. Keep your eyes moving between both mirrors constantly. The key is to correct any little drift immediately before it becomes a big problem. And don't be afraid to pull up and reposition. It's way better to take an extra minute than to get into a bad spot. So let's boil it all down. What are the absolute must-knows for your CDL test? Number 1, know your 2 lines. The emergency line is the supply line, and the service line is the control line. Number 2, that tractor protection valve has to pop out somewhere between 20 and 45 psi. That's a key number. And number 3, and this is a big one, always use your spring-loaded parking brakes for parking. Never, ever the hand valve. Look, understanding this system, it's really the difference between just being someone who can make a truck move and being a true professional who is always in control. You've got the knowledge now. The real question is, are you ready to be in control?